Hello, friends. Quick update. I just wanted to address the fact that not all of the videos I make are true scary story narrations, and that some of them are music that I have made. If you see horror score in the title, or you do not see true scary stories in the title, it is likely music. I just wanted to address this because there seemed to be some confusion. Also, I have created a Patreon and a PayPal account. If you cannot afford to support my channel financially, I completely understand. Honestly though, I'm just not making any money off of these, but that's never what it's been about. Like I said, if you cannot support me financially, please just leave a like, comment, or subscribe, or share. It means more than you think. Thanks for listening, and be well.
He wasn't who he said he was.
I was 18, trolling Meet Me, looking for some form of validation, and then, to my shock, I get a message from Jay. A little backstory. I went to church with Jay when I was 13. I always thought he was really cute, but he was significantly older than me. He was my best friend's older brother's best friend, so he always looked at us like we were kids. We only talked a handful of times. He left the church when I was 15 and I hadn't seen him since. Jay. Well, hello there. Me. Hey Jay, what's up? Jay. Just talking to a cute girl. What's up with you? And there it started. I was young, insecure, and slightly desperate at the time, and the idea of this amazing hot boy who I looked up to as a kid giving me that kind of attention was incredibly exciting for me. Me. You're pretty cute yourself. I've always thought so. We chatted and flirting turned into dirty talk. By that point, it had been several hours of messaging, and it was 2 a.m. He asked to come over to my house, but I lived with my parents at the time, so I declined. He told me to give him my address anyway and that he would pick me up. But I had work in the morning, so I said no. He tried to convince me, but he finally accepted the answer. Over the next couple weeks, we messaged every day. We planned on meeting multiple times, but for some reason it never worked out for either of us. I told my friends that Jay from youth group was expressing interest in me. They were excited but told me to be careful. Jay was kind of a player. Knowing this information, I was a little hesitant to meet up with him, but I enjoyed messaging him, even though he would sometimes get upset when I told him I couldn't meet up. He got more and more persistent, so I stopped messaging him. I didn't feel right about it. Then, one Saturday, I went to a wedding with my best friend as her +1, and who would be the best man but Jay? I was excited to see him, but he acted very distant and uninterested, ignoring me like he did back in the day at church. I was sad about it, but quickly moved on to spend time with my friends. That Monday, Jay messages me again and we chat for a while. I finally decided to bring up the wedding. Me. You looked pretty hot on Saturday. Jay. You saw me on Saturday? This was strange. We had talked, only for a few minutes, but he definitely knew who I was. Me. Yeah, of course I did. Jay, oh, you were at that party too? Me, what are you talking about? Jay, yeah, I was so messed up. Me, you're not Jay, are you? Jay, of course I am. What are you talking about? I realized then it wasn't Jay. In all our conversations about the past, he never brought up specific events or people. He just knew that Jay and I once knew each other. I had to be sure, so I asked him a question Jay would only know. At this wedding, the entire wedding party wore gray toms. So, I asked him, me, what shoes were you wearing on Saturday? Jay, my Vans. It wasn't him. Jay wasn't interested in me after all, but I wasn't sad. I was just scared. Who was this fake Jay? Me. You're not Jay. I don't know who you are, but you're not him. Fake Jay. Come on, of course I am. Me. Jay did not wear Vans on Saturday. Who are you? Fake Jay. Shit. Fine, I'm not Jay. Me. Who are you? Fake Jay. Ha ha. Not telling. The conversation went on a little longer and I kept getting more and more freaked out. Me. Why are you doing this? Fake Jay. Because you're an effing bitch. Me. What the hell? Who are you? Fake Jay. It was too easy. Me. I'm going to call the police. Fake Jay. They can't do anything. Me. Who are you? Fake Jay. Hope you get raped to death. He deleted his account after that. He was gone and I was terrified. At the time, I didn't do anything. I didn't even tell my parents, and I never found out who Fake Jay was. But whoever you are, let's not meet.
No more PlayDoh.
Important bit of context. This happened around 1995. In freshman year of middle school, 6th grade, there was a once-a-week group therapy session with developmentally delayed kids that involved them doing some crafts activity, or playing with Legos, or watching a movie as a group. It was half normal kids, half DD kids, and the normal kids could sign up for it. I signed up pretty much instantly as it meant an escape from history once a week. One of my best friends at the time had the same idea, and it basically turned into a second lunch period for us. The whole thing was overseen by a therapist named Bruce, and it was generally pretty laid back. Bruce was an overweight 50-ish balding guy with the attitude and general appearance of Santa Claus. He ran most of the school's extracurriculars and was pretty much universally liked. The other important player in this story was a kid who all called G. You know that stereotype of psychopaths being obsessed with animal torture as a kid? This was dead on G. He'd regularly tell these long, excited stories during group about how much fun he had last week tearing the legs off a squirrel he caught in his live trap, or other similar things. Most of us just sort of ignored him, as it was just sort of assumed that he was all talk and making up gross stuff to get attention. So one week we're playing with PlayDoh. Since it was a DD group, the huge tub of PlayDoh had long since assumed a uniform shade of turd brown, and the general drive was to get people to build things and tell stories about them. Most people just built dinosaurs or threw clay at each other. G, for whatever reason, had a huge flat square slab laid out and was building 4 large pillars on the corners. He eventually put a roof on it, which wouldn't stay on due to the lack of interior supports. The normal kids would always leave a few minutes early as the group ran right into the start of next period, and we'd need time to get to class. I was no different, and walked out while Bruce and the DD kids were smashing Play-Doh, giggling, and throwing chunks of turd dough back into the bin. I got to my next class and the teacher wasn't there. Nobody knew what was going on. About 10 minutes later, she finally showed up looking frazzled and wouldn't give us any information other than something happened that needed staff attention. Being 6th graders, we went nuts with speculation. A few hours later, I ran into the friend from group who was visibly jumpy and disturbed. He wouldn't tell me why other than mentioning that group therapy was canceled indefinitely. I kept prying for information and eventually got the story out of him. So during the cleanup, the Play-Doh had to be compacted back into its tub. This involved lots of smashing Play-Doh sculptures, a bit that the DD kids greatly enjoyed to the point where they'd try to smash other people's stuff. G's house was one of the last things to go. He smashed down 2 columns, let one of the other DDs smash another, and finally dared Bruce to smash the last one really hard. The last one with the pocket knife in it. I never saw either Bruce or G ever again.
Got harassed and followed home by a creepy stalker.
So this happened around a year ago. I was living in a large city in the UK, around a mile from the center. Although the area I lived in was nice, the city itself had a lot of crime. A teenage girl actually got stabbed to death on her way to school on a bus near my flat not long ago. I had just finished my university class and was waiting at the bus stop, and I'm helping a woman locate her bus on the timetable. And as I'm helping her, my bus pulls up and drives away. Great. A man must have seen the whole thing happen because he comes over to me and says something along the lines of, "Tough luck, that's annoying." And I reply, "Yeah, typical," or something like that. Normal small talk, trying to be polite to him. Shortly after, the next bus comes along. I get on and so does the man I was just talking to, which I found weird as he could have gotten on the earlier bus I missed. Whatever, I don't really think much of it and put my earphones in and continue on the 20-minute journey home. I get off the bus at my normal stop and I'm walking along when suddenly I feel someone grab my shoulder. I flinch and instinctively push the hand away and look behind me, and it's the man from before. I take my headphones out and he says, "Hey beautiful, you got a man?" My defenses immediately go up, as I'm sure any girl living in a city will understand. I start walking and he follows me. Me? Yeah, sorry. I'm pretty bewildered at this point. I have experienced creepers before, but not someone physically grabbing me. Nah, you're just saying that. I can tell you're lying. Come on, beautiful, can I have your number? Me? No, I have a boyfriend. I actually wasn't lying. I did have a boyfriend. He continues asking me over and over again, getting angrier and angrier at me. Me? No, sorry. At this point, I start walking really fast, almost jogging. He's still following me. It's about a 5-minute walk to my flat, and he followed me the whole way back. I honestly think at this point I'm gonna get attacked or stabbed, or I don't know what. I've never been in this situation before, probably due to the fact I'm 5'11". Even though I only weigh 130 pounds, I've been told I look intimidating due to my height. So I get to my flat and he's followed me all the way to the doors. Luckily, I get in and shut the doors before he follows and go up to my flat. Around 30 minutes later, I go out to my balcony and look down, and he's still there. I contemplate calling the police, but instead call the concierge, and they go out and I can hear them threatening to call the police if he doesn't leave. Thankfully, he does. I spend the rest of my months living there worried if he was gonna show up, and luckily he didn't. My stomach turned recently when I heard on the news that not 5 minutes from where I used to live, and this all took place, a girl was walking home late at night and she got raped. She flagged down a car for help and got raped again by a different guy. I can't imagine the horror this poor girl went through. To any girls reading this, honestly look into getting self-defense classes or something, especially if you live in a city. I'd really love to have karate chopped that guy in the dick. But seriously, I was lucky and it could have ended a lot worse. I have no idea what this guy's intentions were, if he just wanted my number or had something more sinister in mind. Be wary with who you speak. I find with men harassing women in the street, if you completely ignore them, more often than not they will stop. If they don't, or they are getting physical, a loud noise will startle them so you can run away. Invest in a rape alarm. Also, don't feel like you have to answer a man who is talking to you just to be polite in a situation like this. You don't owe them politeness. Your safety is more important.